Hello and welcome to Clear Waters, your channel where the waters are clear. A joke, always. But anyways, tonight we have an interesting topic in my point of view. Let's talk about 8 views I have about major events that you probably won't agree with. Why do I get the feeling that this is gonna be one heated live stream? Possibly. Maybe it goes well, maybe it goes peacefully, maybe nobody tries to insult me. So let me check real quick my audio. Seems to be working fine. And also my Discord for anybody that wants to call in. There's a Discord link at the bottom of the screen. It says Discord. And also on the chat, you click on that link and it takes you to my server where we can have a conversation like two grown adult human beings. So let's jump right away to this presentation. 8 views I have about major events that you probably won't agree with, but these are my views. So let's jump into this presentation and let's look at the first one. So in regards to TWA Flight 800, according to the official story, the fuel tank blew up on that flight. It doesn't convince me. So in my view, this airplane was brought down, most likely by a missile. I'll show you the list and then we jump through each of these views and why I come to that conclusion. Now let's jump to the number 2 out of 8. Let's go, oops. Let's go with number 2. Number 2. Having some technical difficulties here. There you go. That's better. Give me just one moment. I'm correcting for people watching on the vertical, I'm fixing the view so they can see it better. There you go. Number 2. JFK supposedly was killed by Harvey Oswald. But in my view, he was killed by more than one shooter. I explain to you why. Just hang in there. Oh, here comes number 3. Here comes number 3. Some people might not agree with my views. World Trade Center number 7 was either badly constructed or intentionally brought down. Probably the worst ever built building in the world, or probably was brought down intentionally. Let's go with number 4 out of these 8 views. Oh, I know this one is gonna be good. Why do I suspect? Number 4, Charlie Kirk supposedly was killed by Tyler Robinson. My view, I don't think so. I don't think so, and I'll explain to you why. Just a little bit of explanation, okay? So let's go with number 5 out of this list of 8. COVID-19, in my view, was created in a lab, and Dr. Fauci facilitated its creation and propagation. That is my view, and I'll explain to you why in just a minute. Number 6. Oh, this one is going to be good. I can feel it. Oh, please. I pray that nobody gets upset when I say this. Jesus never resurrected. Oh. Javier, clear waters. No, you cannot say that. I have my reasons why I tell you this. Let's go with number 7. Number 7. The Air India Flight 171 crash. Supposedly, one of the pilots, and everybody thinks, or most people think, that the captain shut down both engines. Nope. Nope. This aircraft, in my view, in my opinion, crashed because of a malfunction in this aircraft. And I'll explain to you why here in a minute. And of course, number 8. The Tate brothers. You know, the two brothers everybody's talking about right now. Well, in my view, these two guys are innocent of the charges they're being presented with. And I'll explain to you why. Just a little explanation. So, welcome Zen Master. Yes, we'll jump into the chats and receive calls once I'm done with the presentation. So, thank you for being here. Let's jump to the first one, TW8 Flight 800. You know, I am not easily fooled. I like to, I have a problem. I can think, I can process information in my head. So the first thing that I noticed about this crash is that the investigation was botched, horrible, manipulated, really, really badly done investigation. If you ever follow this investigation, you will notice that there are many, many discrepancies. Really bad. And that's one of the main reasons I suspect that this TW8 Flight 800 did not explode in the air because of supposedly the fuel tank exploded. No. Number 2, missile witnesses reports. More than one person is saying that they saw something going up like a light, and then boof. Number 3, fuselage reconstruction. One of the things that I noticed about the reconstruction of the also for anybody on the vertical, this presentation is optimized for horizontal. So if you want to move to the horizontal live stream, please. One of the things that I noticed about this investigation and about this reconstruction of the aircraft, something doesn't make sense. I have seen a boat that exploded because of a fuel tank, and it doesn't look like this. No siree. And also being exposed to high wind, everything in my point of view will be bent back. Yes, it's like an opening a can of tuna and then bending the cap. Just like that. This seems to me like someone pounded this thing to make it go straight. And that's tampering, in my point of view, with evidence. Not good. And of course, radar anomalies. People saw, according to the reports, fast flying objects in the sky. And of course, the fuel tank explosion, really? No. For anybody that knows a little bit about aircraft or, about mechanics, aligning that the day was hot during that day, that the air packs are sitting below the main fuel tank, that they were overworking these air conditioner units, that those air conditioning units heated what was left in this tank because it was almost empty, and that created vapor. And then also there has to be a source of a spark to light this gas from the evaporization of the fuel. If you're not into mechanic stuff, you have to really, really make things align in order for this to happen. A spark inside a fuel tank? No. I don't believe it. So, in my point of view, this TWA Flight 800 case has to be reopened and investigated better, in a better way, because I suspect most likely this aircraft was not brought down by an exploding fuel tank. No. Let's go with number 2, which was JFK. Just one moment. Okay, so JFK assassination, Kennedy assassination, supposedly he was killed, and the official explanation was that he was killed by Mr. Oswald. I don't buy it. Nope. Why? Because I have thoughts. I can think. I have eyes. I can see. The first thing I noticed is that Oswald was working in that building weeks before JFK Kennedy cars were going to pass in front of the building, so he had no way of knowing. So, one thing. Number 2, the Zapruder film clearly shows a frontal shot. If you have not seen this and you have the stomach to watch this, go watch the video where Kennedy gets shot in the head. Absolutely clearly that he was shot from the front to the back, the one that did the job. So I have eyes. It took me 1 second to see clearly that he was shot from the front. So definitely this assassination was done by more than one person. And of course, number 3, the Warren Commission, the commission that was in charge of investigating this assassination. Corruption taken to a whole new level. Key witnesses completely ignore the ones that saw the whole thing, saw a lot of stuff going on. Nope. No interview for you. You saw a puff of smoke behind the fence? Nope, no interview for you. So this thing was botched, corrupted, ruined. So I think these investigations have to be reopened, or those files have to be open so everybody can see. Yeah, definitely done by more than one person. I don't even think Oswald participated in this. If you watch the whole scene of what happened, anybody that has two fingers of forehead is going to ask the question, why in the world, when you have the target the closest to you without obstruction, you're not going to take a shot? No, I'm no expert, but I'm also not an idiot. That was point number 4. Yep. JFK assassination, it was done by more than one person. Yes. Okay, let's go to the next one. World Trade Center, building number 7. In case you don't know what I'm talking about, this is building number 7, free fall in its own, in itself. Yeah. So, number 1, maybe first tall building to collapse because of fire. Probably the first one in the world. Number 2, nearly free fall descent. And number 3, symmetrical collapse. You know, this building was either brought down on purpose or probably the worst building in the world. Just a fire of 7 hours approximately took a whole building down in almost free fall. Something is not right. Nobody responsible for that. I don't know. I'm telling you, I can think. So if it was not brought down on purpose, man, why was that building built that way? Someone cut corners. Someone did something wrong. Oh, let's go to the next one. This is a sad one. All of them are sad ones, but this one, Charlie Kirk assassination. Ooh. Let me take a deep breath. So, in my point of view, this assassination of Charlie Kirk was not done by Tyler Robinson, or in case, which I really doubt it, he did it. He didn't do it by himself. No. But again, I go back to my first view. I don't think he did it. Nope. Why do I say this? Let me lower the volume of the microphone because I probably get excited by saying the things I'm going to say right now. There you go. You know, when I saw the UBU area where he was assassinated, this was a sacrifice. Why do I say that? Why do I say that? The lowest point, most likely in the area, surrounded by buildings high. Anybody that knows like 5% about guns, or even if you watch movies about, I don't know, snipers, this place is a paradise for snipers. This should not be called UBU. It should be called Sniper's Paradise. Charlie Kirk was put in a position, man, like, wouldn't put the chair right here. Do you think he can get him from any angle? Right there. Bring him up a little bit. Right there. Sit right here, Charlie Kirk. The experts, okay, in security didn't think about putting one single person in the highest point in that area. You are either not good for that job because probably you're stupid, or you did it on purpose. No drone surveillance. Number 3, no clear video of the actual shooting. Nobody have seen the guy shooting. I'm talking about Tyler Robinson. Number 4, the crime scene, tamper with, contaminated, and modify. Man, why people are not in jail right now for contaminating, tampering, and modifying the crime scene? Why? Why? This is absolutely amazingly incredible. Not even like 2 minutes when Charlie Kirk was assassinated, people moving chairs around, taking SD cards out of the cameras. What? Oh, no. Everything looks suspicious, man. Number 5, contradictory statements. Man, those people from TPUSA, man, I go back to when Charlie Kirk was assassinated. I'm like, man, that Tyler guy did it. Everything's, they got him. Until the point when I hear Erica Kirk opening her mouth. I forgive him. What did you say? That's beautiful. Wow. Wait a second. They proved he did it or no? That was beautiful, man. But wait a second. Why is this lady saying this? She has the guy that made the shot without being proven he was guilty. No. And those fireworks, and all the stupid lies, man, these people say. I started doubting when I started to watch Erica Kirk coming to stages, very happy and celebrating, in my view, and opening her mouth. I'm like, man. Oh, man. So this guy apparently did not do it, and I started doubting. I'm like, man, this is going to go south. No. Number 6, celebration and commercialization. These people from TPUSA, man, seems to be happy that Charlie Kirk is dead. They are making the millions and probably billions, in my opinion, and this is my view. I think, in my opinion, that whoever is in charge of this investigation is not investigating Erica Kirk, TPUSA, and a bunch of other people. Man, no, big no. This seems to me like a very corrupted investigation. This is my opinion. This is what I've seen, and I'm not the only one. Probably probably one of the few that can talk about this or dare to talk about this. This seems to me like a botch investigation, horribly done. Man, if I was like in charge of something, I would investigate the FBI guy. What's his name? I don't remember his name. I get upset when I remember his name. Yeah, I will investigate police officers. No. I'm done with this corruption thing. Why we have to take it? No. You were the one that moved the chair. Come here. Get in jail right there. Or let's investigate this guy. You're the one that started running right away when Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Come here. Let me check your phone. Let me check your messages and phone calls. You are his security guy. Why you didn't put someone on the top? You look suspicious to me. Let's investigate you. No. Let's investigate one guy that nobody saw shooting. Nobody has a video of the guy shooting. No. Very, very suspicious to me. And for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, a sniper's nest, sniper's paradise, you can see the area of this place, man. This is sniper's paradise. Come here, bring your rifle and take your choice of the many places you can take a shot because nobody's watching the rooftops, man. I forgive him. He's already guilty. I forgive. No, you don't do that. Nope. No, no, no. I don't care how broken you are, sad you are, man. That must have been horrible, but you don't do that. You don't do that. Someone must have told you, please don't say that. Don't forgive the guy because he has not been proved guilty yet. No. So let's go from sniper's paradise to COVID-19 pandemic. It's hard for me to believe that there's people nowadays that still think that the COVID-19 pandemic, the virus, came from a wet market. Some penguin having sex with a bat or something like that. Number one, this is my view. Dr. Fauci, wet market in Wuhan or Wuhan Institute of Virology. The guy, the expert, Dr. Fauci, trying to bring attention that the virus most likely came from a wet market in Wuhan. When, let me show you, when there's an institute of virology that studies coronaviruses not even 7 miles from the Wuhan market. The guy knew what was going on and he was in emergency mode. So, number two, Dr. Fauci gain of function research. Go find the video where he says, if we get a pandemic, maybe it's worth it. This guy was playing with fire. In my view, like I said at the beginning, most likely this coronavirus, this pandemic, came to be by the facilitation of Dr. Fauci. And he always went back to the crime scene, being on TV all the time. This guy, in my view, has to be investigated in all his finances and bank accounts. At least. Number three, EcoHealth Alliance funding. That I could be wrong, but when I did a research about this institute was funneling money to that Wuhan Institute in China. I could be wrong. This is my opinion. This is from a research I did when we were in the middle of the pandemic. Number four, NIH oversight failures. These people were giving money and were not monitoring. Nobody was making sure that the money was going to the right places, apparently. Number five, Dr. Fauci says not important to wear mask. Why would anybody be wearing a mask? And there he is wearing a diaper in his face. This guy had no clue. Apparently, I don't know, he's not an expert in viruses. Probably he was involved in some kind of business. And this whole thing is coming down very hard. I'm not saying that he should be in jail. I'm saying he should be investigated, his finances, to see if he made money out of this pandemic. Because it seems to me that he most likely is the big one responsible for this pandemic of COVID-19. Yep, that is my view. That is my opinion. And of course, number six, Dr. Fauci completely ignoring natural immunity. He went from saying that there's nothing better than natural immunity to saying get the vaccine. But Dr. Fauci, what's your opinion on natural immunity? Get vaccinated. Come on, do it now. Oh, let's talk about the next one. Let's talk about Jesus. Jesus' resurrection. We have a problem here. My view is no witnesses of the actual moment of resurrection, transformation itself. Jesus didn't resurrect. And of course, I was not there. People say, no, but I saw Jesus. I saw Jesus. The 500 witnesses. No. No one saw Jesus' transformation. No one. He decided to do this in a hidden way, hiding from everybody so nobody could watch. Most likely, if he ever existed, if he was a real person, maybe there's a good explanation about this trick or whatever happening here. But I am not easily convinced about things that are fantastic, like someone resurrection. No. Nobody saw him transform, resurrect. You didn't see him, obviously, and that's why you're condemned to always say you believe. You cannot say you know because you will be lying. Yes, no transformation. That is my view. And this is the empty tomb where nobody saw him transform from dead to human. He suddenly show up 3 days later like, hey, here I am. But Jesus, how did you do it? Touch here. Don't be asking questions. But how did you do it? Don't be asking questions. You don't have faith? You don't have faith? Huh? Very problematic, this thing about Jesus. But people still will tell you, Jesus resurrected. Yes, I know. No, you don't know. You're lying. So, let's go to the next one. Air India Flight 171 crash. Still people today that probably don't know anything about this topic still bought the semi-official explanation that one of the pilots shut down both engines. It is my view that no pilots shut down these engines. And please, you don't have to listen to me, okay? But if ever an official conclusion of the investigation comes out and they conclude that one of the pilots shut down those engines and they don't demonstrate it, technically, they are lying. Yes, sirree. Just like I'm telling you. When it comes to airplanes, okay? Technical information. Show me in the diagram where did you get that signal that demonstrates that that switch is in the off position, and also show me that there's absolutely no possible way for that signal to fail. If they don't demonstrate that, they're lying. And I'm telling you right now, my view is that none of the pilots shut down these engines. This aircraft had a problem and they were trying to keep this airplane flying. Remember this live stream. I could be wrong, but remember this live stream. And let's go to the last one before we jump into the chats and receive calls. Let's talk about the Tate brothers. This live stream is optimized for horizontal live stream, okay? So if you're on the vertical, please move to the horizontal so you can see pictures and stuff like that. First of all, I'm not a fan of the Tate brothers. I think the Tate brothers are, I don't know. I'm not a fan. Okay, they are like big, loud mouth people. These are business people, move out of the way, no BS type of people. And because there's a lot of weak people today in the world, easily offended. these two guys, these two brothers offend a lot of people, especially Andrew Tate. Loudmouth. I'm not a fan. I agree with some of the stuff that he says. I disagree with other stuff that he says. But there's one fact. The two guys right now, in my view, are legally innocent. It has not proven yet that they're guilty of anything. And they're being punished already. This is textbook, in my view, of how to weaponize the legal system. Imagine waking up one day yourself as a man. You open the door of your house, you're going to work, and you get being arrested because some ex-girlfriend is saying that you erped her, or you did something, or you punched her, or did something to her. Now, probably you didn't do it. You didn't do it, but your life is going to be destroyed, and now you're going to have to spend time in jail. You're going to have to spend money. Your reputation is ruined. This is how people in power, this is how they roll. They ruin people's life. They don't care if they're guilty or not. And it's my view that the Tate brothers are suffering from this corruption from a country. One thing that nobody can deny, right now, they're innocent and they're in jail. I think this should not be the case. If you're not guilty of anything, or you're not proven guilty, you should not be punished beforehand. No siree. You as the law, you have to find your way to protect or limit the Tate brothers for them to not disappear, but not depriving them of liberty. Nope. So this is worrisome. It can happen to you as a guy, as a girl. It can happen to me. Someone doesn't like you and they're in power. They're going to ruin your life by using the legal system. And this is what's happening right now. Man, I'm a YouTuber. I'm a nobody. I only have like 800 subscribers in my channel. And I am demanding that these two guys, loudmouth guys, get them out of jail right now and solve your problem of legal system on how to make sure that people don't disappear, they don't go to another country, put something on their, I don't know, on their feet or something, or I don't know. But deprivation of liberty, no, that's punishment beforehand. It should not be. So get these two guys out to whoever is keeping them in jail right now, because this seems to me is corruption. This is overreach. This is abuse of legal system, in my view. And by the way, I understand that UK is asking for these two guys. UK, it is my view that UK is a shithole, a horrible country right now, run by weak people. Shithole, bad, horrible, weak, coward government people. Yeah, the Tates are not the only ones that believe that. I believe it too. I've never been to UK. I'm not planning to go to UK. Horrible, horrible. This is like, I don't know, from heroes, from an empire to a coward government. Horrible. Yeah, I said it. So, I'm not the only one that think that way. So, but probably people don't want to say it. I say it. I haven't done anything wrong. I haven't broken the law. So I can say whatever I want as long as it's my view and my opinion. Yes, so those are my 8 views I have about major events you probably won't agree with. let's look at the chats and let's open the call lines for anybody that wants to call in and have a conversation. I know people are going to want to talk to me about Jesus' resurrection. I mean, why in the world would you say that? I was there. I was there. All right, let's go to the chats. Nick is on the Discord, man.
Oh, what's up, man?
Good. Hold on. Let me bring you up because nobody can hear you. How you doing, Nick?
I'm good, man. It's actually a nice change of pace to see some different topics. I actually kind of agree with the first three. A little bit more skeptical on a couple others, but
Which
JFK assassination, huh?
Which one do you have more resistance to? Which one do you
What you
disagree the
mean,
most?
Disagree the most? Oh, well, of course, it's going to be 6, but that's neither here nor there. I actually do agree though with 2 and 3 quite a bit. JFK assassination in particular is very, very wishy-washy. The government certainly withheld a lot of information from the public that should have been disclosed. Just the way the whole thing transpired was it. I think it was on a Friday where the president got shot, and the car was being refurbished Monday morning. I mean that's textbook obstruction of justice. Nobody got to look at the car or the crime scene.
The car was clean, as far as I understand. In my investigation, was clean the same day.
No.
And did you get to see the Zapruder film when JFK was shot?
I really haven't seen too much videos of it.
Yeah, you can clearly see that he was shot from the front. So, I mean,
In front?
very simple to see it. You don't have to be an expert in guns to see that he was shot from the front.
Yeah, the whole Jack Ruby shooting Lee Harvey Oswald just doesn't make any sense to me. Why would he do it? Doesn't really make any sense. There are claims that Jack Ruby knew Lee Harvey Oswald, so they could be lying about that as well. There's a lot of things within the JFK administration. I think it's mostly political too, because JFK certainly refused to go to war. He was not going to nudge. He was not going to go. He was very firm on that, and I guess people inside that political realm, decided we're just going to take him out. Yeah, we're going to take him out. We're going to put somebody in there that's going to act on our accord.
Yeah, he pissed off a lot of people while he was president, even mafia people too.
I thought he was a very respectable guy. I thought he was a good president. I think things would look a lot differently now in society if he would have gotten a full run. Now that's not to say the government wasn't going to be corrupt in any other way, but the 9/11 as well is very very. I don't know how anyone could look at Building 7 like you mentioned and for it to fall at the rate of gravity, almost like a rug pull, like a demolition, and just say, oh, well, it was just the fire that caused it. Even if I grant you the first 2 buildings that got hit, that fall at free fall, you're saying that, the surrounding fires caused Building 7 to collapse. I mean, these buildings were designed to withstand from fires and stuff like that. They wouldn't fall like that.
Yeah, and there are videos of buildings around the world burning for days, and they never came down.
Hey. Yeah, those 2 for sure, I think, are very, very questionable from the government. We haven't gotten answers. They're not disclosing what they should, what they want to. They're disclosing what they want to, but COVID, I mean, I agree to a certain extent. A lot of this seems like it could have been avoided.
Do you think it came from the Wuhan wet market?
I, it's hard to say. I think the way we look at it now, now that we have the totality of what's happened and what's transpired, how Fauci a few years ago said, if I get called to the witness stand, if I get called before Congress, I'll be willing to answer any questions. And was it a few weeks ago, continued to plead the fifth on every single question, didn't want to answer any questions. So clearly he's hiding something.
Oh yeah, he is.
He's not wanting to be transparent. I mean, I'm not saying he's, could be lying about everything, but he certainly doesn't want to be transparent about certain things.
Yeah, I definitely think that he has to be investigated. His finances, bank accounts have to be investigated, because I think he intentionally did this. He knew what he was doing, and now because people are starting to dig and investigate and ask questions, not investigate, to ask questions, he noticed that, they're going in the direction where he contributed for this to happen. I think he was paying for this indirectly for this man, I forgot that word, for this test of coronavirus, combining viruses to make them stronger.
Oh, gain of function.
Gain of function. Yes. I mean, there's videos of him saying, yeah, we're doing gain of function. He also was in favor of the studies, even if a pandemic will be the result of it. I mean, there's video of him saying this. I saw the videos myself. And I did a video in Spanish on my other channel, what I used to have another channel, about how people didn't know that in Wuhan, there was a laboratory that does gain of function testing. But Fauci never mentioned that. He always was like, no, this is Wuhan wet market. Some penguin had sex with a vat or something like that.
Yes. And I need to mention, I'm really more skeptical on how were they able to find a vaccination so quickly? Over the course of history, when we have viruses that are introduced, or at least new viruses that are introduced, these take years and years to even come up with a proper vaccination. How are they able to do this in six months to a year? Without knowing things ahead of time. It just doesn't add up.
It seems to me that the technology was there already, and they didn't had a virus to test it on. So that was the perfect storm to put these things to use. When anybody asks me, Javier, did you get vaccinated? I'm like, man, I don't think that's the correct question. I think what you're asking me, if I got the experimental drug injected in my veins, and the answer is no, I didn't get the experimental drug injected in my veins. Because to me, that was an experimental drug, no vaccine.
Yeah, I certainly didn't get vaccinated. The irony too is, this was, I think, probably 4 years ago when I was working at a different company, but a lot of companies were starting to mandate these vaccines. Like, they weren't giving people an option. They would tell you, hey, if you don't get this vaccine, you don't have a job.
Yep.
So it's not even just that. It's the simple fact that how they were forcing people to take this vaccine is even a bigger disservice to the American people and just people in general. They shouldn't have to get a vaccine if they choose not to do so. Now, my dad's a pharmacist. He's a pharmacy manager, and he does believe that certain vaccinations are important for young children. There's enough research to come to that conclusion, but ultimately it's still the parent's choice if they want to vaccinate their child. You can't force people to get a vaccine they don't want to get.
Yeah, I hope that some of these doctors, companies, people sue the shit out of them because of forcing vaccinations. It is my understanding that people are dying because of complications and side effects from these vaccines. So definitely, I think it ruined people's lives. But I'm glad I didn't get in my family, close family, didn't get vaccinated either. We all got COVID-19, nothing more than a simple cold.
The Charlie Kirk assassination, I'm not too, I haven't really done much research on it. There's certainly a lot of question marks regarding that, especially in today's climate. I could at least believe, like in the 60s when JFK was assassinated, that maybe the amount of protection and aid they had to make sure these things didn't occur were very limited. The resources they had at that time in the 60s were limited. But, we're talking about, like today, in 2026, that, Charlie Kirk didn't have adequate protection, adequate people to make sure people didn't have weapons on them. It doesn't make sense to me. I think it's just a very unfortunate circumstance. But I would have to read more about the Charlie Kirk assassination.
Yeah, the guy was getting death threats right and left all the time. He was saying it. He was getting death threats. And you're going to make an open UVU event with Charlie Kirk being in the lowest point pretty much and being surrounded by tall buildings. I mean, I call this sniper's paradise. And the experts, security experts, didn't even think of putting one person on the tallest building, where they can see everything. Nobody had the thought to do that. It seems to me that there were people that facilitated for his assassination to happen. That is my view. That is my opinion, because I cannot believe that supposedly experts in security can be so stupid or so...
you can't see a person on top of a building with a backpack, That's very concerning.
No. I think people facilitated for this to happen. I think that there's people that have previous knowledge of what's going to happen, or a hint or something, because everything from the investigation, from the assassination itself, and from this monetization, commercialization of Charlie Kirk's death from TP USA, the whole thing looks extremely suspicious to me. Everything. And of course, the 3006 bullet, supposedly the Superman neck of Charlie Kirk, I don't think that's possible. Not even close. I'm not a gun expert.
Clearly the shooter was inexperienced. The target was 50 yards away, and anyone with the general knowledge of how to shoot a gun, would have probably hit the head. The fact that he was,
No, 142 yards, if I'm not mistaken.
142 yards?
Yes. And,
well, in general, for any sniper who's experienced in that field, clearly can aim at the head.
No, I don't know, but I don't think by the examples of people have done in the internet of shooting this gun, same bullet. I mean, whatever they shoot at, pieces of meat, pieces of pork, I mean, the thing blows up and destroys. And in the case of Charlie Kirk, it's just a tiny hole and the bullet doesn't come out on the other side. We're talking about a bullet flying, I think it's like twice the speed of sound. I mean, it's absolutely incredible that this story, and people believe that he was shot by, I think this called a 3006 bullet, and it didn't go through. I don't believe it. The whole thing, everything is a huge mess. This explains why there's a lot of people that don't believe the official story, including Candace Owens and a bunch of other people. Yeah. I include myself in that bunch. I don't believe it. I think this was done with something else. it was more than one person doing this. I don't think it was Tyler Robinson either. So we'll find out.
Did you ever see the video of that British broadcast network during 9/11? They did a pre-broadcast back to England 25 minutes before Building 7 had collapsed, and they had announced that it was already it had already fallen. Did you ever see that video?
Yeah, I saw it. They explained it that was like something recorded or pre-recorded. There's a documentary that talk about that, and they explain why that happened. I think it's believable. You know, they did some recording and something like that. There's a documentary on that on YouTube that you can find.
Yeah, I would certainly say the two fishiest are JFK and 9/11, and that we still haven't gotten answers. I don't even think we're ever going to get the full story. I don't think they want us to know the full story.
Yeah, and World Trade Center 7, I mean, I just mentioned that, but there's a bunch of other stuff. That building, the Pentagon, I mean, more than 2,000 cameras and not one pick up a huge 757 aircraft. I don't believe it. And of course, I don't believe it either. Anybody that has worked on airplanes and you have touched titanium, you know how strong titanium is. And that 757 crashing into that Pentagon building and the engines not making a hole on the structure, I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
The idea of well, the Bush administration dismisses the idea that they had no knowledge prior that this was going to happen. It's in Condoleezza Rice's memo. I mean, so they had prior knowledge that this possibly could happen.
I don't know if you saw there's a documentary. I probably think is still online. There's a famous picture of a taxi cab where a lamp post landed on the front hood of the engine. And one of the person that was doing the documentary noticed that a lamp post landing that huge and that heavy landing on the car should have made a bigger damage. And they traced the guy, the owner of the car, and he asked for the camera to be shut down. And he was telling the people from the documentary, man, stop asking questions. This is bigger than you and me. You don't want to get me in trouble. Apparently there was something there that was, I don't know, people knew, or they were doing some simulation about something was going to happen. I don't know. The investigation didn't allow, in my point of view, for people to really know what happened this day. But definitely in the Pentagon, an aircraft, a 757 crashing in there, I don't believe it. No. We should find out about these things. I think, I don't know. If I were president of the United States, man, I will open all these cases back. I'm like, man, give me the shit. Tell me what happened really.
You're of the belief that it's possible that the Bush administration had foreknowledge and pushed this narrative to go to war in Iraq, or excuse me, in Afghanistan?
I think there's possibility of that. There's more than that. I mean, I think people in power, they play another game at another level. There's other businesses going on. People are not aware of them. And probably they're doing more than one business at a time. Probably millions or billions of dollars. So we don't really know what was the motivation for doing this 9/11 thing. We don't know all the details. Professor Hissel, welcome to the live stream. Charles Oliver, welcome.
It's really interesting to look at the events that occurred right after JFK's assassination. Are you familiar with the Gulf of Tonkin incident?
The Gulf of
Tonkin incident?
Nope.
Yeah, you should really look into that. That's ultimately what led us into the war. This was, I think,
Tonkin.
maybe Gulf of Tonkin.
The Gulf of Tonkin incident in August of 1964 actually occurred under President Lyndon B. Johnson, not JFK. So JFK had previously increased U.S. military advisors in Vietnam before his assassination on November 1963. Yeah.
Trying to see what war happened.
Agent Wolf, welcome to the live stream. Just to let you know, you're on the vertical. You can move to the horizontal stream if you want. There's more people on the horizontal. User Tin Foil Hat, welcome. I'm gonna drop the link for the horizontal just in case you guys want to move to the horizontal. Mr. Dominic, I love experimental medicine.
Yeah, ultimately, the Gulf of Tonkin is what led to the Vietnam War, and this is something that JFK was absolutely opposed. He was willing to do everything possible to stay out of the Vietnam War, which, you know, it's very odd after a year within the administration when Lyndon gets into office, we have this supposed incident that leads to the Vietnam War after JFK a year prior is, you know, swearing that he's trying not to go to.
Yeah, I think there's probably more than one motivation for his assassination, because I understood also that a bunch of mafia people were upset at him and his brother. One Big John Lovell, welcome to the live stream. I think you guys can see the 8 views on the screen. TW800 flight supposedly exploded in the air because of explosion of the fuel tank. I don't believe it. I think it was something else, probably a missile or something. JFK assassination supposedly was killed by Lee Harvey Oswald. I don't buy it. I think it was done by more than one person. I don't think probably even Oswald was involved in this shooting. And World Trade Center, Building 7, seems to me that probably the worst built building in the world, or it was taken down on purpose.
I'm certainly convinced the JFK assassination was an inside job.
Yeah,
so that's
absolutely.
Just my gathering of information that's been presented.
Yes. And if you allow me, Charlie Kirk also supposedly Tyler Robertson is being put on trial because of the assassination of Charlie Kirk. I don't buy it. It seems to me that this was done by someone else, or, you know, carried by someone else, not Tyler Robertson. That is my view. COVID-19, number 5. I don't think this virus ever came from a wet market in Wuhan. This came from a lab. And in my view, Dr. Fauci facilitated for the creation of this virus and for the propagation of this virus. Number 6, I don't believe that Jesus resurrected because nobody saw his transformation. He did it while hiding or hidden. Nobody saw it. That's problematic. That is my view. Number 7, Air India crash 171. Supposedly one of the pilots, the captain, shut down both engines. I don't buy it at all. Nope. Because of technical reasons. And of course, number 8, the Tate brothers that are right now in jail while being innocent. Nope. I don't think it's correct. I think these two guys have to be out of jail now because they are innocent until proven guilty. And you cannot have innocent people in jail. Those are my 8 views I have about major events you probably won't agree with. Charles Oliver, this must be conspiracy hypothesis night. Yes, I felt like doing something different.
I love how that word gets thrown around with like, you know, people are in general conspiracy theorists, but you know, has the government given us a reason to believe them over the past 100 years? I mean, is that a fair question to ask? Have they been entirely truthful to us? Because I don't think they have.
Yeah, you know what happens, Nick? I think that the government is taking notes from people. I think that the government is a reflection of the citizens of a country. That's one of the reasons I'm, you know, trying to bring awareness and have conversations about the problematic of continuously us human beings lying to ourselves because of emotional reasons. I think we have to stop this because we are the ones that are contributing for governments to lie and to take control of our lives in negative ways, because we're doing this creation and we're maintaining this type of governments of lies and corruption. We are the ones that are paid for these governments. We are the ones that vote for these governments. And of course, I know most people don't agree with what I have to say about this, but I think we have affected negatively humanity through the power of religion, because to me, in my view, religion puts up people in a constant dishonesty, lie, for emotional reasons. Of course, people from other institutions or companies or whatever are going to do the same thing. You're going to lie about God that is not real and you're going to make it into real. Well, I'm going to create all kinds of other things and I'm going to follow your example. And I'm going to insist of me doing things in a certain way, because if you can do it, I can also do it. And that's why you have people creating sexes, different, I don't know, trying to normalize mental problems, emotional problems. You can do it, I can do it too.
Yeah, it's certainly pushback. It's certainly pushback. For me, someone who's going to be a Catholic, I do believe there's a clear distinction of believers having a responsibility to share the good news, but also to understand that if someone doesn't have the desire to raise their children in that light and they want to abstain away from it, you can't force it on people. You know, you can't force this on children. I know was somewhere in Texas they're legalizing Bible verses being read in school, prayers in school. That all needs to be separated. That's completely not what it's intended for.
Yeah, but they're still doing it, you know. And not only that, you know, you're gonna have other religions wanting to be part of government and to force people into doing things in a certain way. For example, you know, religions from other countries. The whole thing about believing in an invisible entity is problematic, because as long as the entity is invisible, I mean, you can do with the entity and the teachings, you can do whatever you want. That's how we have so many different religions and denominations, because people do whatever they want with the invisible entity.
Now, the Tate brothers, I mean, you know, I see your point. Just because we may not like somebody for their prerogative and their demeanor and the way they act around certain people and the way they do act in general, yeah, they do still need a fair trial.
Yeah, I think the punishment comes first and then the trial, probably 3-4 years later. No, that's not the way to do things. They can do it to you, to me, to anybody. you have someone that doesn't like you in government, in power, they can destroy your life using the legal system. Charles Oliver is asking, who are the Tate brothers and why are they charged with, I don't know the exact charges, but they have like 54, 59 charges, everything from ARPing to, you know, trafficking of human beings and stuff like that. They have not been able to prove anything to them, I'm sorry, and they are in jail right now. So I think the main purpose is destroy their lives, and then who cares if they're guilty or not, if their lives are destroyed already. So that's called weaponizing the legal system.
Now, I actually, I have no idea what number 1 and number 7 about. I've actually never heard of TWA 800. What was that about?
Yeah, this was an aircraft that supposedly, an airliner that supposedly the fuel tank exploded. And the explanation, I don't buy it, because you have to align too many conditions in order for this to happen. They say that because the day was hot, the air conditioning pack systems were very hot, and those were installed underneath the fuel tank, the main center fuel tank of the aircraft. And because of the fuel tank was not full, the heat from these air packs created too much evaporation of the fuel, which makes it very flammable. And because of that, in a spark, they could never determine where the spark came from, caused the fuel tank to explode. So many things have to align for this to happen. Many incredible things have to align for this to happen, which that's one of the reasons I don't believe this airplane was brought down by an exploding fuel tank. Most likely it was shot down by a missile, and witnesses saw a light going up and then something exploded. And also the investigation was botched. There were people manipulating pieces of the airplane. I was saying in the presentation that I saw a boat had an explosion. I mean, it was like 100 meters from me. It's been the loudest explosion that I ever heard in my life. And when I looked, a boat had exploded. I mean, it looked like a can of tuna have been opened and you bent the cap. The whole boat was like that. Some kid died and the captain was in between all the metal. But if that metal was bent like that on a stationary boat, I would think that an airplane suddenly hit the high-speed winds from flight, everything will be bent back. And that's not the case from the reconstruction. So someone was bending the metal of that aircraft, which seems to me to be tampering with evidence. TXDAP, welcome to the live stream. Earth through. JD Advance. Okay, you guys can ask me questions if you want, or let me know your opinion. Skeptic Philosophy, welcome to the live stream. Peace be with you. Skeptic Philosophy, Conspiracy Hypothesis Night. You guys can tell me which one you agree with or disagree with. I made a presentation where I show a little bit of why I have these views and don't agree with official explanations. I have a big problem. I can think for myself. I can read, I can see. Peace be with you. There are things they should be convinced for. Just trafficking women is not one of them. Maybe getting women on the camera while they do all the work on the keyboard was their job. Loud mouth, Andrew Tate, big mouth. But from that to committing crimes, they have to be proof. In the meantime, they are innocent and they're being punished already. It can happen to you, it can happen to me, it can happen to anybody. Someone wakes up in the morning, you don't like them, they can accuse you of doing something and your life is going to be ruined. Especially if someone is in a position of power, like in government.
Yeah, you know, whether it's political affiliation, views on society, it doesn't matter. Everybody has the right to a free trial, a fair trial, excuse me. Everyone has the right to that. Doesn't matter ethnicity, religious view, none of those things. You have the right to a fair trial.
I think I will go more than that. Of course, a fair trial, but the government has to find the means and the way to not punish you beforehand, because you can spend 3-4 years in jail until you prove your innocence, and by then you're out of money and your life is ruined. Skeptic.
Yeah, I do agree to a certain extent. Yeah, I don't think the funds really hurts the Tate brothers, but for someone like me or you, I don't know your income and stuff, but for someone like me that sometimes lives paycheck to paycheck at certain points, you know, a bond of 700-800, you know, can really affect whether you get to eat or pay your rent, you know. So yeah, I mean, totally agree.
Yep, absolutely. Skeptic Philosophy writes, so the Tate brothers do have UK citizenship as well. They are dual citizens. We have an extradition treaty with the UK. They have held and transported people for the US, and we're doing the same. The Tate brothers only being held in the US for extradition to the United Kingdom. There are no US criminals charges against them at this time. But the Skeptic Philosophy, Robert, they are in jail. They don't have freedom right now. Seems to me punishment. And of course, if this is done to anybody like yourself or myself, our life is ruined. You don't even have to prove that we're guilty. Just ruin our lives. This is done in this country. This is done in the US. This is done in the UK. And of course, I said my view, my opinion about UK. I said that UK is a shithole in my view. This went from an empire of heroes fighting people to a bunch of government cowards. Very sad, very sad. I don't know how the people from UK allowed this to happen. One day I'll talk again about my new form of government. Probably people in UK will be interested in this new form of government. So this never happen again, ever, of having a small group of people take control of the majority. Never again. Yalisapa. Copy pasting stuff from the book. Marketing, one of those gods. TXDAB writes, all these events for me points to the fact that there is going to be a day of judgment. TXDAB, you're reading too much the Bible. You have to get your head out of that book for at least one day, my friend, and smell the flowers. You know, if I was, I don't know, if I was in some position of power, let's say, you know, let's fantasize. And I'm in the US and the UK asked me, hey, bring those two guys over here. I'm like, man, what for? What do you have on them? Can you please tell me? Because I'm not going to put 2 US citizens in custody in jail and cut their freedoms, because you could be making shoot up. And you could be weaponizing the legal system over there, and you want to expand it to another country. So can you please tell me what are these charges In the meantime, they're going to be free in this country, and I can assure you they're not going to leave. We're going to put something on their legs, so in one of the legs, you know, like something to track them. But you could be weaponizing the legal system, so we're not going to fall for it. I don't know. That's just me. I like to be more transparent about things. Peace be with you too. I completely agree with you, Clearwaters, on that. It is sad they need to stand up for their country and what they believe in, and the politicians should be doing what's right for the people. Skeptic philosophy, that would be the case for all hold or all extradition treaties. Are then all extraditions hold wrong? Why picks this one?
I don't even know what's going on in the UK right now at all.
Oh yeah, it's very sad. I have to watch some of these videos of what's going on in the UK, man. Getting people in jail because of an opinion, because they have the incorrect thoughts. They share a meme, going to jail. Very sad. Skeptic philosophy is asking why pick this one. Peace be with you. It's not Sharia law. It is LMAFO. Skeptic philosophy. They can say the same for any charges we have against people they hold for us. Yes, they can do the same thing. I think legal system has to be corrected because it can be weaponized very easily. And not because we've been doing this for many years and it's the normal thing, we should keep doing it. I'm just pointing out this time, why are we not doing this same thing with people in the Epstein files, you know, investigating people? Why nobody is under investigation or detained? But the two guys that talk negatively about the UK all the time, they are being wanted for 59 charges. Sounds to me like they're using the legal system to be weaponized against them. It sounds to me very clearly. Ertrue says that list is mostly psyops. Jali Sapa, what's wrong with you? You're gonna copy paste Bible verses all night? Are you getting paid for this? Are you doing this because you have some kind of problem? Or you have some insecurity and you feel more secure by copy pasting Bible verses on a live stream? You can talk to me. You can tell me what's going on in your life. Nikki Two Toes, how's Panama? Clearwaters. Panama is beautiful. It's raining a lot. Panama has its good things and has its horrible things, just like any other country. For anybody that wants to have a conversation about these topics, you're more than welcome to call in and ask questions, or, you know, we can engage in a conversation about TW8 Flight 800, JFK assassination, WTC World Trade Center Building 7, Charlie Kirk, COVID-19, Jesus Resurrection, Air India 171, and the Tate brothers. Peace be with you too. There's literally people in our country saying they are going to take over our country. They are demonstrating that they are showing dominance by praying out loud in the streets when they have a place. Peace be with you. Thank you for pointing that out. I'm trying to bring awareness to the problematic of believing in God. It brings conflict and division because we're talking about always being a follower, and we don't want followers. We want leaders. When you follow one of these doctrines, you're always a follower of the thinking of someone else. And of course, these doctrines are always problematic because they come with something nice like, don't do to others what you don't want done to yourself, with a bunch of other toxic information. Nikki Tito's simulated reality. Ali Sapa, continue copy pasting Bible verses. Not interested, thank you. Not interested in believing what you believe, my friend. In case you don't know it, in the Charlie Kirk assassination, my view is that the UVU park area, this area where the Charlie Kirk was assassinated, I mean, this is a sniper's paradise. No security on top of any of the buildings or the tallest building in the place. That was negligence or facilitation, I don't know. This is all my opinion, this is all my view. Earth Drew writes, COVID was absolute horseshit. I have to agree with you. Yes. Man, people were like, man, why are you not taking the vaccine? I'm like, man, don't call it the vaccine. Call it the experimental drug, because that's what it is. That is what it is. And no, I have not injected the experimental drug into my veins. No. Besides that, I already had COVID-19. I'm perfectly fine. Peace be with you. There is only one true God, Clearwaters, and I learned that from Christopher. I done study every religion myself and went through the same stuff, but always knew there was something out there. But I can still
Christopher will fall into this one.
But I can still agree with you and disagree with you about God on the situation, how they can weaponize God as a weapon. And the Muslims have done that to a degree where it's literally religion. Yeah, peace be with you. Thank you for your comment. It is my view, peace be with you, that you're contributing to a problem. I know it's hard to understand that when someone has some level of emotional attachment to an idea, the idea that there's a God out there, there's probably a God out there, creator of the universe. But that creator of the universe wanting to have a relationship with you? What in the world? What did you say, Nick? I'm sorry. Romans 1, welcome to the live stream. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, the more I'm looking into it, that Kirk assassination seems a little bit more fishy than I thought it would. Yeah, it looks a little bit more. I hate using the word conspiracy. I'll say this: somebody failed at their job. This especially in this day and age, this is something that should easily be avoidable.
Yeah, yeah. It seems to me the same thing. Romans 1, welcome to the live stream. What's the difference between horizontal and vertical stream? Romans 1, there's two live streams. One vertical for people that wants to see the live stream on their phone, and one horizontal for people that want to see the live stream on their phone, tablet, or TV. Believe it or not, people watch this on their TV. I can see it on YouTube's stats. Romans 1, snarky waters, just act respectful when someone says something nice. Whoa. Romans 1, what are you talking about? Remember, I'm snarky waters. I don't know what you're talking about exactly, but that's okay. Skeptic philosophy. So the Tate brothers had a trial date set for August 13 to decide if they were released while waiting on the extradition trial. The date was pushed off to August 27. This was not prosecution change. It was moved by the Tate brothers defense team. Good to know, Skeptic philosophy. Thank you for sharing that. I don't know if they're guilty of the charges that they're being accused of. Man, go to jail. But until proven, they're innocent. Until proven guilty, they're innocent. Ali Sapa continues to copy-paste Bible verses. This is one of the reasons I say, please stay away from this information. For some people, man, I think they start acting weird, man. Get into a live stream and copy-paste over and over Bible verses. What do you think you're going to do with that? People are going to think that you have a problem. How about you share your views, your opinions, instead of copy-pasting stuff that other people say and try to look smart at the same time? Romans 1 writes, lots of earthquakes lately, waters. At some point, you won't be able to deny the evidence. Romans 1, what evidence? Would you be so kind to explain what evidence are you talking about? Big eyes on the screen, I have evidence that no one saw Jesus resurrect. That seems to be a fact, and there's no evidence for his transformation. So, forcibly, you have to go with what other people are telling you. And that's why you have to say, I believe. Peace be with you. I'm sorry, brother, but I'm not part of the problem. I'm actually part of the solution because I love myself like I love another, and I do as the works and teachings that Jesus did is a simple man. Peace be with you. If you're a follower of someone else's doctrine, you're contributing to a problem, my friend. If you know any leaders, please bring it to the live stream because we want leaders. We don't want followers. We're tired of following other people, especially following doctrines, religious doctrines. Believing in invisible entity is not good for humanity, especially invisible entities from foreign countries like Israel. Romans 1 writes, the earth is groaning for her maker to return. Romans 1. I'm being clear waters, but you're asking me to be snarky waters, stinky waters, dirty waters. I think maybe at least for a day, stop reading the book, my friend. Get out, smell the flowers, talk to people, share your opinions, your views. I try to construct something better for this world instead of reading and accepting other people's toxic doctrines and accept it as yours and try to get other people to believe in these doctrines. It's not good for humanity, my friend. There's proof of that. Earth true. COVID scam proves God. They use all these distractions to keep people from Jesus, keep people trapped in their matrix. Not Earth true, no. COVID was done because us as human beings were ignorant about much of the stuff that happens in the world because we are followers of a small groups of people. We have to think for ourselves. We have to come up with our own views about lives and stop accepting other people's, especially religious doctrines. Is not good for humanity. Is not good for you. Don't be a follower. Don't be a follower of religious doctrines. Don't be a follower of religious doctrines from gods from foreign countries. What's wrong with you? We want leaders. Charles Oliver, the Tate brothers haven't been detained for an unreasonable. No, wait. The Tate brothers have not been detained for an unreasonable amount of time. Their cases are complex and widespread. If I was a betting man, and I am, it would take a state a long time bring. Charges against wealthy individuals. Charles Oliver, yeah, I have come to learn that legal system, you can use it however you want. How many people have how many people have been detained in the case of Epstein? No one. And there's proof that people were being trafficked. No investigations, no one. I don't know. It seems to me that there's proof that the legal system can be weaponized. I don't know. How about you do run your investigation in the UK and probably, I don't know, prove that these accusations are true, and then ask for the Tate brothers to come because they have already proved that there's evidence for them to be condemned or put in jail. I don't know. I think there are other ways that this thing can be done in a better way, especially when they have been in this already process for 3 years in Romania, I think. I don't know. It is my point of view. If they are found guilty, yes, by all means, go to jail. Yes. Romans 1 writes, actually obeying his commands are very good for the population. No, Romans 1. You're not gonna be obeying any God. You are obeying other people. Watch my live stream where I explain how you know about God, not from God, but you know about God from other people. Other people are telling you there's a God. You don't know this. You believe what other people are telling you. So don't be telling that you're obeying God's commands. You're obeying other people's commands. Peace be with you too. I don't follow any man's doctrines of religion, to be clear respectfully. Peace be with you. You are literally, okay, following man's doctrine. Literally. Peace be with you also writes, was Jesus not the best example of all mankind to follow? But that doesn't mean I follow any doctrine of any particular religious group no longer anymore. I don't think Jesus was the best example of mankind. Nope. I actually think that Jesus brings conflict and division. And you can see it around the world. Besides that, his teachings are not good for kids. Be more like Jesus and less like yourself, because you're a dirty sinner. You have to be more like Jesus, or ask Jesus for forgiveness, or God for forgiveness. No, the whole thing about Jesus is problematic. It's not good for humanity. It's conflict and division. Proven already around the world. Get two people talking about Jesus, they're gonna go into a conflict. Better follow yourself, your own conclusions, your own views, your own opinions. You're going to do something bad, do it because you're doing it and you're coming to that conclusion, not because someone else is telling you. Come on. You were told that there's a God out there. You were not told that by a God. You were told that by someone else. You're following someone else's doctrine. Period. Let's not fool ourselves. Romans 1 writes, love your neighbor as yourself. Don't lie, don't steal, don't bear false witness, don't follow doctrine, follow my Savior. Romans 1, many doctrines are doctrines of demons. There is a difference, Waters, that's why discernment is important. Peace, Waters, nice to see you again. Romans 1, just by not doing to others what you don't want done to yourself, I can tell you that. You can tell yourself that. You don't need a God to tell you that. Rick Campanella is not about what you can do for him. It's of course what he's done for you. That sounds like a rhyme. Nothing of value there. Out of Babylon, Jesus is the best example to follow. I don't agree. I disagree. First of all, we don't know if Jesus was real. There's a debate about that. For sure, we don't know that he resurrected because no one was there. And besides that, I think Jesus brings with him conflict and division. You can see it anywhere. Get two people to talk about Jesus, they're going to get into a conflict. What's the best message of Jesus? I tell it to you. You can tell it to yourself. Don't do to others what you don't want done to yourself. I can tell that to you, you know? I can tell you that. Charles Oliver. The Romanian case is from 2023. They haven't been detained since then. Their lawyers want to postpone things too. Then the brothers get to claim it's government's fault. Yeah, but they were in jail like what, for 3 years, something like that? Peace be with you. If you read Jesus' words and what Jesus taught, you would have not said that. Peace be with you too. I was a believer for years, my friend. I was part of the prayer group, youth group. I participated in the mass. I was part of the choir. I was part of the charismatic group. I spoke in tongues. I have the Holy Spirit touch my soul. So I know a thing or two about what I'm talking about. And I still think that Jesus' message is not good for you, for me, or for humanity. No. Because if you start following Jesus, guess what? You're going to be a follower of someone else's way of thinking. And because we're talking supposedly about a person that we don't know if he was real or not. I don't know. I prefer to figure out things myself with the help and assistance of other human beings. I like to stay more down here on earth than going into the esoteric and then talking about spirits and gods and demons and sacrifices. Charles Oliver, also to mention, here in Panama, in Venezuela, Nicaragua, other countries, this legal process of detaining people for accusations, they can spend years in jail, especially in these countries where they have, what's it called? I always forget that word. Dictators. Yeah, they put you in jail because someone accuse you of something. They throw away the file, man. You're gonna spend like 7 years in jail. Detained. Earth through humanity, give me a break. You're not the arbitrator of humanity. It's just ridiculous platitude. Earth through humanity, give me a break. You're not the arbitrator of humanity. Earth through, I can see problems. I don't have to fool myself. I don't have to follow doctrines. I'm not a follower. I can think for myself. I have thoughts for myself. I can, come to my own conclusions and not to accept other people's conclusions. I'm not into witchcraft. I'm not into believing in spirits, in demons. Nothing of this stuff. Not anymore, my friend. So I think I'm in better position to be thinking what's good and better for humanity than someone that believes in demons and spirits, my friend. That is my point of view. Nobody that believes in gods and spirits could be saying what's good for humanity. No, that doesn't work like that. First, prove the God, and then we talk. And by the way, my view in this live stream is that God's resurrection never happened. Wendy Kirkland, welcome to the live stream. Thank you for the jewels. Clearwaters, tell us what Jesus was teaching, please. Wendy, I like better Chulum's teachings. And Chulum's teaching is, don't follow me. Go away. Shoo. I don't want followers. I didn't create you to be a follower. Go create your own life. But people apparently like to be followers. They like to be told what to do. They like to be told what to do from spiritual beings. God the fraud, welcome to the live stream. Jesus called people names and was a racist. What? Viking Lloyd writes, I was at the crucifixion. Your blood is like a river that flows back through time. If you are here now, you were there then. You are your ancestors. And Viking Lloyd, you came in strong, making shoot up. There's nothing of value in that information. Local admin, even Paul and Peter and Jesus couldn't agree. Problematic, yep. Peace be with you, writes, God even warns us not to go outside of the boundaries of our God forefathers for division over false idols and gods, and not to mix amongst others but only among your own people. Fact. I thought you said you didn't follow man's doctrines. Where did you get this information? Did you get it from a god? I don't want to be, pain in the ass, but pain in the butt. But it sounds to me like this, what you're saying is coming from a person. And I don't think it's coming from you. Neither a god.
Yeah, I gotta head out, man. But I actually enjoyed the live stream today. Just wanted to tell you have a good night, man.
Thank you, Nick. Appreciate it.
All right, take care.
You too. Out of Babylon P, Jesus is a parable. Yeah, people say Jesus is a spirit, Jesus was a person, Jesus is a parable, Jesus is whatever you want to make of it. Peace be with you too. We do know there was a historical Jesus that died on a cross, though for a fact. Nope, I don't think it's a fact. You're coming to that conclusion and calling it a fact because someone else told you that. Through a book, through church, through radio, through something. But I'm not aware of anybody resurrecting crucified named Jesus and coming with some messages and wanting a relationship with me and wanting to save me from his dad, from his father. Peace be with you, the whole thing is problematic. It sounds more like a bad reading novella, soap opera. You know, a God that wants to save you from himself because he's the one doing the punishment. What happened? What went wrong? What happened with you? How do you end up believing these crazy stories? Out of Babylon, before you say that, Clearwaters, what was Jesus' message? Whatever Jesus' message, I don't agree with because his presence as Son of God is problematic. His whole message, presence, sounds to me like it's problematic because he's invisible right now. You can make out of Jesus whatever you want. And besides that, he participated in an act of violence to supposedly communicate love from his father, which I think is one of the silliest plan coming from the most intelligent being in the universe. No. A very shitty story, man. Coffee College 987. Christianity is a cult. I know, but people that believe in these spiritual beings, entities, and demons and sacrifices apparently don't see it that way. Because when you are strongly attached emotionally to the idea of the loving God, powerful being in the universe, and you being his love, you're gonna look like this. You're not gonna look at anything else. Just look at the God's love and good message and sacrifice. All the brutality and violence, don't look at it. Viking Lloyd, Jesus is not God. Lots of cults out there. Oops. Wendy Kirkland, Clearwaters, treat everyone like you would want to be treated, right? Love your neighbor, right? Is this true? Or did you read something else? Wendy Kirkland, I'm trying to bring awareness that you don't need an invisible entity to teach you these things. You can figure it out themselves. You're smart enough, you're capable enough, and you don't need to be feel like you're less, that you need an invisible entity to tell you these things. Apart from that, Wendy, this is not an invisible entity or God telling you these things. These things are being told to you by other people. Everything you know about God, you don't know it from God. You know it from other people, and they can be lying to you for control and for many other negative reasons. Coffee College writes, I'm so thankful that I'm no longer a Catholic. Man, praise the Lord. You're no longer a Catholic. So I guess that you no longer follow toxic doctrines. You're not kissing a skull. Jesus Christ loves you 40. Jesus Christ is Lord and Savior. Thank you for sharing your beliefs. Fortunately, I don't believe what you believe. But if you choose to believe that based on what other people are telling you, man, that's up to you. That's your prerogative. Jose de Figueroa, welcome to the live stream. Where did you hear about these major events? What do you mean, where did I hear this? What do you mean by that? Probably I understand your question incorrectly. Do you live in the same world? TW8800, supposedly an airliner that the fuel tank exploded. I don't buy it. Out of Babylon is asking, but what does the Bible say? It says that no one saw him. I ask you what it was. How can you disagree with something you do not know? I don't understand your question. Out of Babylon, did you see Jesus' transformation from dead to alive? Because I didn't see it. Apparently no one saw it. So I don't believe in the resurrection. I don't believe Jesus existed. Probably he did, maybe not. I really don't care. I don't like his message. I don't like his father. I don't like the whole story. I don't like the Bible. I think it's toxic. I think it's not good for humanity. And I think it's about time for us as humanity and human beings, you know, to pass the page and stop with the God thing, because it's not taking us to a good position in life. If you want to be a follower of invisible entities from foreign countries, you can do it, my friend, but I'm trying to bring awareness to this problematic. No more gods, please. People are going to continue creating gods, and especially AI gods. Yeah, wait for it. Agent Wolf 07, Javier, you should watch Prof. Jiang videos and give your opinions. He got very popular recently. If that's the guy that I think we're talking about. Let me see his face. Hold on. Oh yeah. Yep. I've watched several of his videos. No, I don't agree that much with him. A little bit, yes, no. Earth through right. You can see it on created energy of God. It's called Tabor light. The apostles saw Jesus emanate this. Right, sure. Yeah, the apostles saw the Tabor light. Yeah, sure. Jose de Figueroa, 8 views about major events is your title. Where did you hear about these major events? Where? In YouTube, internet? Yes, from information available, different sources. For example, TW8, I got it from news, documentaries, stuff like that. From JFK, the same thing. Videos, mostly. From other people. But a God from other people. No. And besides that, I'm not calling these beliefs, I'm calling it views. So good try. I'm not new in this rodeo. Agent Wolf, maybe you should react right. He got no copyright channel name Predictive History. Okay, I'm gonna think about it. Thank you for the observation, Agent Wolf. I'll take a look more in depth to one of his videos. Out of Babylon writes, the message of Jesus you don't know, so how can you disagree? Resurrection or reincarnation is for the dead, and we are to be transformed by the renewal of our minds. TB doing what it does best, telling a vision. Yeah, I don't know, out of Babylon. I think if we're talking about a God or gods, and you have to depend on what other people are telling you from thousands of years ago, where they didn't know as much as we do today, it's problematic, my friend. You know, they could be really mistaken. They couldn't understood what was going on. They didn't have the knowledge. They didn't have the means. They didn't have the skills. So for me, if you believe in one of these gods, popular gods right now, your thinking has to go back thousands of years, my friend. No, I think there's too much to find out, to explore, too many questions to ask, and trying to explain everything by some guy that supposedly was alive and was telling people that he was God or God was his father. What is good for humanity right now to follow this guy or to follow his doctrine? Hey, be a good person. Not gonna get you to heaven, but be a good person. No. It's problematic. We got to stop the God thing, man. In my view. Jesus Christ loves you 40. Jesus Christ is God. Jesus Christ loves you? No, Jesus Christ is not God. I don't know who Jesus Christ is. This is some character in a book. I never knew the guy. I don't know who the guy is. But there's nothing of value for anybody other than yourself to keep repeating this stuff, probably because you're attached emotionally to the idea of the loving God, and you have to keep repeating this stuff over and over again to make yourself feel better that you're annotating points with the invisible entity from Israel. Sometimes you're gonna have to grow up and disattach yourself emotionally from this idea of the invisible entity from Israel that wants to have a relationship with you. No, my friend, not good for you. Some people could think that you're out of your mind, but I'm not like that. I'm more respectful. Out of Babylon writes, God is love. Out of Babylon, God is hate. Everything we know was taught by someone else. I think you have to accept that in all aspects of life, even when we use money. No, I don't have to accept that. There's things that I have learned by myself without anybody telling me that information. And when someone tells me some information, I go check and double check and triple check, and I still don't come to the conclusion. So God is hate. Jose de Figueroa, so then where do we cross the line of what we believe based on what we hear from others? Half of these events don't exist to me. I don't believe in them or have a reason to. They don't exist to me. Yeah, Jose de Figueroa, you can detach yourself emotionally from these events. I can do the same thing about anything. We can do the same thing about anything. You can disconnect yourself from the belief of a God, and the God will not be interested for you. You will not care about any God, any of the popular current available gods right now. Yes, but there's more conversation to what you're saying right now. TW-800 was an airliner, an aircraft. I used to work on aircraft, so I have something that interests me about this topic, about this supposed explosion of this aircraft. I can say a thing or two about it, and I don't agree with the conclusion, the official explanation of what happened with this aircraft. Everything, this information about what happened with this aircraft came from other people. I'm not jumping to conclusions. I'm not going to believe. I have to double check the information and compare it to what I know from my own experience. How can you do that with your Lord and Savior? But good question, Jose. Out of Babylon is asking, name what you learned that is not of the back of others. Yes, I learned that if I walk in my house without sandals or something on my foot, I run the risk of kicking something like a wall corner, and that is gonna hurt. I learned that by myself, no need for anybody to tell me that. And just like that, I can tell you a ton of other things that I learned from myself. Out of Babylon, again, everything you know is knowledge built upon from another. You taught yourself how to ride a bike. That knowledge is already available. Yeah, I just give an example of something that I taught myself to do without anybody telling me. So I don't agree with your assessment about life. I disagree. Jesus Christ loves you 40 writes, Jesus Christ is the truth. No, Jesus Christ loves you. Jesus Christ is the big, humongous lie. But big, huge lie. But because you cannot prove it, you cannot prove me wrong, you have to admit it and accept it. Jesus Christ is your Savior. the invisible entity from Israel is your savior. You're not praising no Lord, Jesus Christ loves you. You're praising yourself. This is about ego, my friend. You're doing this because of emotional reasons. You're not gonna fool everybody, my friend. You can fool yourself and you can fool a few people. You're not gonna fool everybody. Believing in God for you is about you feeding your ego. There's nothing else about it. There's no God involved in these things that you're saying. You're not gonna fool everybody. Amos 1, welcome to the live stream. Amos 1, speaking truth. Carti Shines 1451, question everything. Thank you. Thank you for pointing something so simple. Don't go accepting other people's toxic doctrines just because they make you feel good. Ask questions, man. Come on. Jesus Christ loves you 40 writes, Jesus was perfect and you're not. Jesus Christ loves you 40. Jesus was imperfect if he was real. And you are a good human being. Acting weird. Out of Babylon, and that knowledge was already available. You were the very first to walk in this house barefoot and stomp his toe. Of course not. Again, that knowledge is available as common. Out of Babylon. So, what conclusion I can come up with from what you're telling me? That I should accept the belief in an invisible entity from a foreign country just because I learned to hit my foot on the wall from someone else in my house. Jesus Christ loves you 40. I preach God everywhere I go. It's about God, not us. Nope. No, Jesus Christ. We're in the year 2026. People already find out what you're doing. You're feeding your ego. You are the friend and the love of the most powerful being in the universe, and that makes you feel special. People already know what you're doing. There's no God in there. It's just feeding your ego. Jesus is Lord. Jesus is my Savior. The most powerful being in the universe is my friend and my Lord and Savior. No, you're just feeding your ego. You have no God. You have never seen a God. You have never talked to a God. A God have never talked to you. Come on. Stop the nonsense. Stop feeding your ego. Come down from that pedestal. Making yourself feel so special. Jose de Figueroa is asking, how do you determine an event took place based on the ones you have? If people can lie and make things up, how do you know one of those 8 events existed? Wouldn't it make sense that at least one isn't real? Yes, Jose Figueroa. For that, I have to take other routes and try to investigate, try to compare information, and still, I don't believe. I don't jump to conclusions. But some people told me that there was a guy named George Washington. I don't believe in, I never met the guy, so he could be lying. There's books and stuff that talk about George Washington. Probably he was a real person. I don't know. I prefer to leave it like that. He could be real, maybe not. How we determine that a invisible entity from Israel is real? Those are good questions, Jose Figueroa, but I could be mistaken about my views. That's why I don't say these are my conclusions. But for people talking about God, no, the God is real. The God is real. No. Very problematic. Jesus Christ loves you, writes, you will believe me when he comes. You know, Jesus Christ, how many people write the same crap you're writing? We're tired of it. You will find out when we go to the other side that you wasted your life trying to feed your ego in front of other people. You have to stop this. You're wasting your life. Not good, my friend. I think it's better to engage in conversations, being honest, being transparent, and trying to come up with ideas instead of accepting other people's ridiculous stories about invisible entities from foreign countries. Come on, you're better than that. Out of Babylon writes, the message of Jesus is to love one another, and he loves us. This is the message that Clearwaters disagree with. Out of Babylon, I prefer to engage in a conversation with you, disagree, agree, come on with something better. I want to love my family to love me, my kids, you know, engage. No, to be loving an invisible entity or something, some spirit. No, my friend, no. I'm not trying to be a pain in the butt. I don't see the positive part about following some invisible, like a spirit or something, just because he said that he loves you. No. So some guy that lived thousands of years said that he loves you and you believe it. You don't know who Jesus is. You don't have a personal relationship with this person. No. It's just a pretending game. Out of Babylon writes, and you know love, you just refuse to admit it. Out of Babylon, this is to me like saying, like, you know, Chulum is real and you just refuse to accept it. Maybe you're upset at Chulum. Jose de Figueroa writes, what do you accept as enough evidence to say these events took place? Do you have a rule of thumb that you use to apply it to all events? For example, you know, when it comes to TW-8800, I know that airplanes 747s exist. I know that 747s take people around the world. I know that 747s have fuel tanks in the inside. I went and double checked to check the specs of the aircraft, and they do have a center fuel tank. And just continue from there. Yeah. But can you do the same thing with the creator of the universe? Some people tell me, yes, of course I can do the same thing. Look at the universe. I tell them, no. No, the universe is not proof for the God of the Bible. The universe is proof for Chulum, because Chulum is the creator of the universe. So you cannot use that as proof that God is real. What can you use? My personal experience. Now, that personal experience is defined from what other people are telling you. I love these questions you're making, Jose Figueroa, because they help to explain and to point out the problematic of believing in invisible entities, beings from other countries, like the God of Israel. The creator of the universe is from Israel. So what is enough evidence, Jose Figueroa? Whatever is enough evidence for you, I don't know, like Robert says, that Zeus, the god Zeus, is real. What is evidence for you that Zeus is real? Or Chulum. Look, Chulum is the creator of the universe. How do I know? Look, creator of the universe. So what will be enough evidence for you that Chulum is the creator of the universe? A book? If the God has a book, must be the creator of the universe. The God doesn't have a book, is not the creator of the universe. Out of Babylon, right? God is love. Out of Babylon, you're incorrect. God is hate. Because the God brings conflict and division. Out of Babylon, if Christ was simple to understand and not complicated, we will not have all this conflict and division that these invisible gods are bringing to our humanity. Jesus Christ loves you 40. Fools leading fools to destruction. You're coming to your senses because you're describing yourself. Probably you say that because you understand that you're a fool and you're trying to lead other people into destruction by feeding your ego. Amos 1 agrees with me. You're leading people into destruction by your ego, humongous ego. Earth through, they don't want evidence of God. They're just bullies and contrarians. Instead of calling people names, how about present the evidence? Maybe because you don't have any. Jesus Christ loves you 40. I'm losing brain cells here. Nope. You're coming back to reality. People here bringing you back to reality, my friend. Stop being so selfish and feeding your humongous ego like the God creator of the universe is your friend. You're not gonna fool people here. We'll bring you back to reality. Amos 1, counterspell to your useless blood god magic. The Big Nick is simple to abide by the laws of God, but it's not easy. Which God are you referring to? Big Nick. There are many gods, many invisible entities. Maybe you're referring to the one from Israel. The Big Nick is asking, oh, you never sin? I don't know if who you're asking that, Big Nick. Remember, I don't play the salvation game. I'm not interested in believing in this crap about sin and salvation and stuff. No, thank you. I'm not willing to go back to being silly, believing in invisible entities and spirits and demons that are trying to attack me and deceive me. Jose de Figueroa writes, I think most importantly, I would have to have interest in something. Otherwise, it doesn't exist to me. I wouldn't care. Aside from having that, I would say multiple sources to prove it existed. So maybe if you're not interested in God of the Bible, the God doesn't exist. You have to believe in the God in order for the God to exist. Because the God of the Bible is an emotional God. Put your feelings in it and the God comes real. Don't put your feelings in it, the God doesn't show up. So maybe you don't believe in Zeus because you have no interest in Zeus. Maybe you don't believe in Baal or Ashura or El or Tulum because you're not interested in these gods. I don't know. Jose de Figueroa, more uniquely would be sources from people that actually wouldn't care but witness it and simply pass it down. Yeah, the problem is, Jose, that people can lie. People can manipulate information, exaggerate it. Maybe they're mistaken. Maybe they didn't understand. At that time that God of the Bible was invented, there were people inventing all kinds of gods. So this God, for some reason, made it to the United States, made it to other countries. And this is the God that you believe in because of popularity, not because the God is real. I think by your question, something tells me that you're not 100% a believer. I think The Big Nick, who wouldn't care about a person conquering death? I think what you mean by that is who wouldn't care about reading what other people wrote about some guy supposedly conquering death. I think that's what you mean. Just trying to clarify. Jesus Christ writes, Jesus Christ loves you 40 writes, you don't even know Jesus Christ. You don't know Jesus Christ either. You're just going from what other people are telling you. Do your homework too. Do your homework. You don't know Jesus. You know what other people are telling you about some guy supposedly named Jesus that lived thousands of years. Coffee College writes, the more I read the Bible, the less I believe in Jesus. Oops. Ragnar Roblox. Having fun. That was a good one. The Big Nick writes, oh yeah, and also this guy resurrected from death, but I don't have an opinion and just thought you should know anyways. How's things? I read on a book that someone else wrote thousands of years ago that supposedly there was a guy named Jesus that supposedly resurrected when he was supposedly crucified. And I believe what I read in the book, even when I don't have any evidence of it, because believing in this invisible entity makes me feel good. There's nothing else to that. Jose de Figueroa writes, what I'm saying is that people spread news of things that happen because they simply happen. Why do we jump to people lying? If someone overwhelmingly spreads the same news about something, when do we say it's a lie if so many people said it and saw it? So if it's 30 people saying it, you don't believe. If it's 400 people saying it, you don't believe. If it's 500, yes, definitely you believe. Jose Figueroa. So the quantity of people tells you that the God is real. You see, I'm very smart. 500, and the God is real. 499, no, the God is not real. So the quantity seems to me that you came to the conclusion already that the God is real because of the emotional attachment. And then you're getting this information here and trying to align it with your belief, you know, to make you feel good that, hey, I think my belief is okay. It's okay. I believe in the spirit from a foreign country, the spirit. Very problematic. You know, have you ever heard of self-sabotage? Most believers do that. Sabotage themselves, believing in spirits and demons and sacrifices and gods from foreign countries like the God of Israel. Jesus Christ loves you 40. God can change your life for the better, giving eternal faith and hope. That's a humongous lie. Jesus Christ loves you. Humongous lie. Why would you lie like this? Probably because through the power of believing in an invisible entity, now you don't know what's real and what's a lie, what's truth and what's a lie. Very sad, my friend. Probably you're a good person that somehow were infected with this God virus and now you're talking weird and you're involved in telling lies, things that you cannot prove, and you're trying to make it sound like they're real. No. The Big Nick writes, news is noteworthy. If you reject the resurrection, it's not really noteworthy because you think it's nonsense. You know, the Big Nick, if I would believe in Jesus and his offering and his promises, whatever, and I involve myself emotionally, yes, yes, the resurrection makes sense to me. Not because God is real or Jesus is real, because I'm contributing to my wellness, my emotional wellness. Something makes sense to me and gives meaning to my life. Believing in God has nothing to do with any God. We're talking about you and your feelings. There's nothing else. Jose de Figueroa writes, this is why I ask you, what is your rule of thumb for making that decision on what is true and what isn't? It should be able to apply to all events. If it doesn't, then what changed that rule? Jose de Figueroa, what is my rule to come to a conclusion about something that is true? What is my rule? I don't know. If I would say something, probably take stuff apart. Someone tells me something, I don't jump to believing. No, I don't come to conclusions. I don't believe. I want to know. I prefer to know things. How can I do that? Take something apart when we're talking about some invisible entity. Can you please explain that to me? We're talking about an airplane like TW-800. There are thousands of those airplanes flying around. I can go and touch one. Take it apart and open the fuel tank. Can you do the same thing with an invisible entity? Can you do that with God? Can you do that with Allah? Can you do that with Olodumare? Can you do that with Odin? Can you do that with Baal, El? Can you do that with Oshura? Come on, man. Come on! So, what is my rule of thumb? If the thing is invisible, you gotta use something to measure it. I don't know. Jose de Figueroa, the exception of reason you make for affecting a rule that works in most of all other situations, it's worth noting that what made you alter the rule and it might teach you something about it. You know, Jose de Figueroa, think for a moment. I'm the most stupid person in the world. I have no rules to come up to conclusions. I don't know anything about anything. I'm stupid. Is the God real? Can you demonstrate it? Forget about me. Don't make this about me. Do you have evidence, proof, something that you can demonstrate that this entity that you believe is real, apart from what other people are telling you? Because apparently you know about God from what other people are telling you, not from what the God is telling you. I know, Jose Figueroa, some people try to make this about me. Oh, Javier, look at him trying to... talking about God. Look at him. Let's discredit him because he's making it tough for me. I don't feel very good talking bad about the God that I believe is real. So let's try to discredit him and make him look bad and see the flaws in him and in his failures. And Forget about me. Just present the information about the invisible entity from Israel. Come on. That's why I tell you, Jose Figueroa, this is not my first rodeo about this crap about some invisible entities. Proof Alodumare is real. Proof Odin is real. Proof one of these, any god. It doesn't have to be the God of the Bible. Any of the other thousands of made up gods. Prove one of them. Look, other people in the vertical. God is real. God is real. God is real. Chulum is real. Chulum is real. Chulum is real. Chulum is real. How can we determine which God is real? Chulum or God of the Bible? Oh, Javier, 500 people. For me, 500 people believe that the God is real. The God is real. You see? Out of Babylon, right? But you more than likely told your mom you love her. Now you need proof of love. I noticed that you're comparing a human being with the creator of the universe. I think it's a horrible comparison. Instead of coming with these comparisons, how about you just present the information from the God and that's it? Because probably then you don't have anything. It's just you and your feelings. Hoping that the God is real, and that hoping makes you feel good. We gotta stop this nonsense. This is lying to yourself and trying to lie to other people in order to other people to agree with your nonsense. Because if other people don't agree with your nonsense, you're gonna feel lonely in this crazy belief that you have an invisible entity that loves you. So you gotta get other people to agree with your nonsense. Out of Babylon, we are God. I won't change, clear waters. You're real. Out of Babylon, you don't have to change. You don't have to change for me or for nobody else. The moment you want to come back to reality, I don't know. It seems to me, that will be your choice. Jesus Christ loves you 40, right? We are all evil. No, Jesus Christ loves you. When you believe in an invisible entity, this is how you think. So you chose to believe some crazy information, toxic information about a God. And now you're talking in these horrible ways. But there's going to be a time when you get tired of talking like this, because you don't talk like this. This is you pretending that you believe in a God. And the pretending phase out, my friend, after years. Out of Babylon, love is incisive. I see love in the people and animals I associate with all the time. You know, even that out of Babylon sounds a little bit more like down to earth, to the moment that you inject Jesus or God in the conversation, because then you go into preaching or some crazy belief that you have. What? No way. 15 minutes until live stream is over? Are you serious? Man, wow. So I've been talking for almost 3 hours. This is crazy, man. Wow. So Jose Figueroa writes, we have less than 15 minutes until we're done with this live stream. So ask me your question, tell me your view or whatever. Jose de Figueroa writes, I cannot prove anything without knowing the rules you're applying. If I would start with, if an event existed, all eight of those start with, does it exist? If it does, then we can agree or disagree on parts. Jose Figueroa, I'm scratching my head. You know, people that have difficulties trying to convince someone else about an invisible entity, they would use comparisons about things about life, like people in this life and things in this life. Why? Why would you do that? You don't need me. You don't need my cooperation for you to demonstrate that the God that you believe is real is real. You don't need me to do that. You don't need to be asking me questions. What do you believe, Javier? What is your rule of thumb to see if I can make it there and inject something in your reasoning so I can demonstrate the God? Or maybe I can prove you wrong in your thinking, and that way I can inject my beliefs in your faulty thinking. That's what I'm not too inclined into having silly debates. If the God is real, we shouldn't be debating about it. It should be absolutely clear. If we have to debate about it, it's most likely because the God is not real. Or if you want to make it no, how do you know it's not real? Can you prove that God is not real? Well, can you prove that Chulum is not real? Prove it, prove it, prove it. Jose de Figueroa, none of my questions mention God. I have been talking about your title the whole time, but you shifted to God. I'm not trying to convince you about anything related to God or the Bible. Thank you, Jose Figueroa. You know what happens, Jose, is that there's a lot of people that come with that same line of questioning, and I can see where they're coming from. Otherwise, why would you be asking me about if something exists and me coming to a conclusion or a view based on information that is being provided to me by other people? How do I know this airplane exists? Or if this event that happened really exists? I could be wrong in my thinking because whoever provided me this information could be mistaken, and I'm coming to a conclusion incorrectly about how the event took place. Javier, you could be doing the exact same thing with a God. What is the reasoning about your questioning? What are you trying to get to? Let's go straight to the point. And also, let me ask you, Jose, do you believe that God of the Bible is real? And is Jesus your Lord and Savior? Let's get straight to the point. Out of Babylon, not mistaken, it's on the news, is deceitful of untrue. Mark Twain 7073. If Jesus makes one feel good, when does it feel good? When persecution happens due to those beliefs. Proof of it. The Colosseum and Christian's death. If one knows they're persecuted, what feels good? Mark Twain, thank you for your question. Are you being persecuted right now? Is this example about you or about someone else? That you read something about some persecution on a book, or you're talking about people being persecuted in other parts of the world like Africa? Are you being persecuted right now? Because my view is that the only reason people believe in an invisible entity like a God, God of the Bible, is because of emotional reasons. There's nothing else. Come on, let me have it. 8 minutes until we're done with this live stream. Some of those conversations on the vertical. Jose de Figueroa writes, does my answer to that affect how you treat or talk to me? I'm just trying to point out a bias in agreement or disagreement, which is literally what your title stream is about, right? Jose, I'm read your comment 3 times. I noticed you didn't answer the question. Thank you anyways. What are you trying to point out this for? If you don't mind my asking. And to answer your question, not to leave you your questions unanswered. Yes, to be honest, yes. Because if you believe that the God of the Bible is real, I would like to apply your line of questioning to yourself also. You see, Jose, I'm also interested in people. I think there's a possibility that there's a God out there. I think it's virtually impossible for a God or this God that could be real to also have want to have a relationship with us. No. So I'm open to the possibility that there's a God out there, and I'm asking people, hey, can you bring some evidence? Because I don't believe, and people seems to get upset because I say that I don't believe what they believe. And people tried all these silly techniques on how to, I don't know, to validate their feelings and their beliefs in the God. And they get involved in these intellectual conversations, which are really intellectually just to hide the emotionality of the believing in the God and trying to hide it with an intellectual conversation. You know, I'm a little bit done with that, Jose Figueroa. Sometimes I don't have very much patience about in regards to that. In regards to the specific event that I have my own views, I do admit that some of these events, I probably have some emotion bias, and probably on all of them. You know, in regards to TW800, I used to work on aircraft. On regards to JFK assassination, I think that the line was too obvious, lying to people. You know, I don't like to be lied to. And the Charlie Kirk assassination also, I don't like to be lied to. And there's a bunch of lies being told about this event. Same thing with COVID-19. Jose de Figueroa, thank you for your honesty. I do believe in God being real is for the exact reasons I'm asking you. I ask questions in my way that applies to all or most things. If it doesn't, I have a bias. Jose de Figueroa, we're almost done with the live stream. The conversation can continue. You really ask good questions, but I knew that behind your questioning, probably incorrectly, I knew, okay, that there was something about related to God, because I saw where the questioning was coming from, which is usually what other people do over and over and over again. But Jose de Figueroa, just to let you know, it is my view that believing in God is problematic for humanity. This is the same as thinking that a Band-Aid is good for a cut. It is good for a moment, but if you leave that Band-Aid there for a long time, it's going to create problems. Same thing with believing in God. And I also believe that believing in God has nothing to do with believing in God. This is something that this is something to do with you, yourself, and your relationship with yourself. A lack of understanding as how you operate as a human being leads you to believing in God. Once you understand what's going on internally with your thoughts, your energy called feel, and how you take actions like believing in a God. Once you understand that process, you are like, man, this is how I came to believe in a God. Yes, exactly. So believing in God to me is a little bit of ignorance of how we operate as human beings, how we move through this life. This is something that is emotional, feeling, moving from a negative feel state into a positive feel state. There's something about us humans that was programmed into us, and this is how we operate in this life. There's many questions. When you try to answer these unanswered questions with a God, you do a tremendous disservice to humanity, because you seal conversations, you seal exploration, you shut down discovering and expansion, and explain everything with the God of the Bible. Nope. The bias is always gonna be feelings, because the only way you can take action on anything on this life is through the power of feel. You're not gonna do it with data only, with information. The information has to connect with something in your being in order for you to attach value to that data and then take action on that data and how you feel about the data. And that's how you end up believing that an invisible entity from a foreign country is real, even when you have absolutely no evidence whatsoever. You yourself, direct information and knowledge from the God, you don't have it. Mark Twain writes, so I personally wouldn't say I'm upset at the fact you don't believe in God. That's up to anyone. The Bible says he gives us free will to decide. So if one decides to not believe, that's fine. So when you say the Bible says, that's the code word to say that you believe what other people are telling you through a book. Which I found, why would you do that? I don't know. 2 more minutes and we're out of here. What other messages there to read? Mark Twain writes, well, biblically, you go to hell. And to those who don't know about the Bible, nothing happens. That's called the God curse. You don't know about God, nothing happens to you. The moment you know about God, you're cursed, man. Now you have to jump through hoops. Now you have to convince God that you love him and believe in him. Amos 1 is absolutely correct. And just to read a few more messages before we're done. Jose de Figueroa, I think the journey starts when you try to figure out if the person even existed. The question would be, was Jesus a real person? Forget everything else until you solve that. Was my personal question. Jose de Figueroa, there's a bigger question behind that one. Why do you want to know about God? Why are you looking for a God? What's going on in your life? What's going on with you emotionally that you need to find out who this Jesus is that is offering you eternal life? Are you anxious about your mortality? There's something that worries you? Are you fearful about something? Believing in God has nothing to do with believing in God. This is about you and your feelings. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great night. Thank you, Amos 1, Rick Campanella, Earth True, Mark Twain, Robert from Skeptic Philosophy, Jesus Christ Loves You 40. Thank you so much for being on the live stream. Out of Babylon, thank you so much. Jose de Figueroa, thank you so much. Everybody that already left, thank you so much for stopping by. Tomorrow we're going to do another interesting topic. Charles Oliver, thank you so much. Peace be with you too. Thank you so much for being on the live stream. See you guys. Have a great night, and I'll see you again tomorrow.